Welcome in. This is exciting stuff. Tommy Viola from Unabated joining me. I'm Dan Koob from Sport Trade. We're going hunting today, my friend. Odds hunting. We got MLB baseball in the afternoon. We've got two bets already on the board here at Sport Trade. But first and foremost, and most importantly, how are you? Good to see you.
I'm doing great. May the fourth be with you, my friend. Thank you
Yes.
so much for having me here. I'm excited. It's a nice, beautiful afternoon in Las Vegas, and we're going to be betting some baseball here.
It is not that nice in New Jersey. It is unseasonably cool. Hopefully the weather will turn. Last time Tommy and I got together on a live stream, it ended in utter pure chaos, vitriol, etc. A battle bets that came down to the second. I'm going to tell you right now, I told Captain Jack this last week, but I'm going to be the bigger man, and I'm going to give you that W. But we're gonna retroactively change the rules here, NBA shot clock rules from now on. We've had some streaming issues with Streamlabs, which if you watch our content, like I'm just feuding with Streamlabs all the time. So we're moving away from Streamlabs, and Battle Bets is going to come back here, hopefully in a couple weeks. Go ahead.
I was just going to say I'm excited for it, and it's nice to be in a little bit low pressure situation here. I don't have to worry about defending my title, which I really think was never in dispute.
Pressure makes diamonds, man. That's all I'm going to tell you. So hopefully you come around today. The purpose of this is making sure that we are leveraging Unabated's tools to find plus EV bets, find some edges here on Sport Trade. And hey, look, we'll let you know even if it's not on Sport Trade, because that's kind of how we roll here. And that's obviously the ethos of Unabated. So we're going to watch some games live. We're going to make some bets. We've already made two bets. Tommy texted me and said, give me the Rockies. I bought the Rockies. At the same time, I bought the under 12.5. And then Christian Yelich immediately goes yard, hurting your bet. That actually helped mine, because then the under 12.5 was on sale. I tweeted this just before we went on, and that was the Unabated line, which I'll pull up here. Just an unbelievable tool. Go to the full screen for you. This line derivatives alternate line. So at the time I had plugged in, 1-0 Brewers over here. This was for what total? So again, this is moved. I think it was the under 12.5 at the time. Obviously, I'm recreating this. So I just typed in 1-0. It was mid first, and it kicked out that the price, the fair price, was minus 106, and Sport Trade had it at even money, plus 100. So it jumped all over that. So that's one of the bets that we've got in the hopper right now. Anything, Tommy, that has caught your eye to this point, or we're just gonna sit and watch the numbers?
I'm looking around right now. I'm going to try and compare two numbers here myself at the moment, because I'm intrigued by the Royals under 17.5 here. You got it at plus 147. I'm looking at some other shops. I'm seeing under 18.5 as a line right now at a closer to even money, but I want to see exactly what that value should be before I say, let's go fire away on it.
Yeah.
I already hit on one baseball bet today, so I'm happy. I had the Tigers against the Mets. So that one worked out for me very well. A nice 2-0 victory for Detroit there in Justin Verlander's debut.
So sorry to burst your bubble here, but Orioles and Royals, we had listed 8.5, 9.5, and 10.5, and they've all gone over. And we do not at this point, I know it says it on Unabated, we do not at this point have 11.5 up, just FYI.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Or no, I'm looking, I'm seeing 17.5.
You're talking Orioles, Royals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have that up. We just put up some alternate lines here, looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm using our beta version of the app. In our production version of the app, which is actually the live app, I can't use the live app. That's probably in there. Unfortunately, I can't make the bet for you. But if you are watching this, if the number is good, jump on it. I just can't do it on the live stream, FYI. So that's the only reason you're not seeing it there.
Yeah, it's right. Neither of us can actually bet on Sport Trade right now, unfortunately.
What's that?
Neither of us can bet on Sport Trade right now, unfortunately.
Yeah. Hey, I will one day we'll head out to Las Vegas. Now you were on Battle Bet, so you do have the beta version too.
That is true.
Fake money, but fun.
Still fun.
Still fun nonetheless.
I've been going back and doing more of it. So
have you?
Yeah.
My biggest position right now, I've got the Devils to win the Stanley Cup. I bought that before they got absolutely waxed by the Hurricanes last night or 2 nights ago. That's down $30. I bought 10 shares of that from plus 934.
I I lament your case because that's going to be a little bit tougher now, especially because the
Yeah.
Golden Knights are going to be winning the Stanley Cup. So your bet probably doesn't have that much value on it.
Someone
Known
has to
event.
explain to me how like the Golden Knights have been awesome since the moment they became a team. The Kraken beat the Avs in their second year, and the Flyers haven't won a cup in 50 years, and they like suck.
Hate to see it.
Like one of the most storied franchises based on like a stretch of excellence that was like 10 years. Late 70s they went to the cup finals a bunch. Or excuse me, mid 70s they went to the finals I think 3 straight years. 4 out of 5 I want to say. Won 2 cups and they've just sucked ever since, and it just like sucks being a Flyers fan.
I feel your pain. One of my best friends is a Flyers fan. My first game actually was Devils Flyers.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Was it
Back
Scott
when
Stevens murdering Eric Lindros?
I don't even. I think Brodeur might have still been in goal back then.
Oh
I was in
yeah.
like 5th grade, maybe.
Okay. All right. Okay. Some games that have gone final. Right before we hopped on, it was 3-3 Cubs and Nationals. I'm looking at my computer. I might as well do it here. It was 3-3 Cubs and Nationals. Going to the bottom of the ninth. I was able to hop on the Nationals at plus 115 right before they hit a walk off. So a nice little treat, nice little start to the show.
That is a very nice one.
Yeah. Let's see what we got. The Cardinals were down 11-5. I am somewhat interested in this number here, plus 934. Oh, something just happened because they just jumped to plus 515. Let's see. We've got our live data up. Let's see, 11-7, 1 out, bottom 7. So I'm not exactly sure what happened here, but we've got it at probably not a game you want to bet. Bottom 7, 11-7. We have it at plus 1,200. FoxBet has it at plus 700.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Pinnacle's got it at
1037.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. So I love this tool so much. I'm going to plug the score in. It's 11-7, bottom 7, but the Cardinals 1 out, bottom 7. So we'll just say bottom 7. Let's see what the fair price comes up as. Now we're at 1302. FoxBet is at 650. DraftKings at 750. This might just be worth it on principle, Tommy.
Yeah, I'm starting to see that.
Yeah, money line 1246. See, this moves so fast. We're at 1209 now. Yeah, we've gone volatile. Let's see. Let's wait for that market to come back.
Oh wow! Now it plummeted for a second and then it went back up. Now 15-1.
Yep, I've got a 14-10. 2 outs here, bottom 7, down 4. Well, you know, let's not go crazy. I'm going to throw $10 on it.
Yeah,
not going to go crazy.
That sounds like you're betting that one on the virtue of it's the Angels and good things don't happen.
So it says the money line here, 1246 is the fair price, and we just got it again at plus 1410.
And it just jumped to 17.
Yeah. So again, not going to go crazy on it. Yeah, there's 0-2 count here, 2 outs in the bottom of the 7. So maybe not much happening there. But one of the big differences here, as people who watch our stuff know, is that the Cardinals don't even have to come back and win. If the Cardinals score a run, all they have to do is get above a 6.5% chance to win the baseball game, and we made money. So it's not exactly like throwing your money away on a prayer just for the positive EV. You actually have a chance to make some money here. Good.
That's true. And one thing that I do want to mention real quick is probably the better tactical option might be to wait until the middle of an inning because of the fact that we're going to be, let's face it, a little bit behind on some of these games. And that's such a disadvantage when you're betting in game. However, you also hit the nail on the head with the fact that you can buy out of your positions. And that's something that you can't do at a normal sports book where you're right. We would have been just throwing some money away on a 12-1 prayer. But you know what? If the Cardinals hold them here in this next half inning, just like that, your line could go right back up. You can make a little money and you could sell it right back off. And boom, you've made money on a game regardless of if the Cardinals actually finish it out.
And situationally matters too, right? Like I know Jack talks about this all the time. Who's coming up? Obviously, because we are probabilities based, we use American odds, but we are probabilities based, right? Like you don't want to bet into a team that's pitching.
Yeah,
because it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse, right? But you know, if there's a guy on first, guy on second, we've seen price swings as high as $20 for a single. So maybe not an 11-7 game, But again, it is different here at Sport Trade. You can make money just situational betting when you're looking at entire game bets like Cardinals to win. But if you look at it from a situational standpoint, you can ground out a little bit. Check back on some of our other bets here. What do you want to do with this Rockies to win? I mean, it's only top the third, down 2-0. The Brewers do have a runner on first again.
I'm gonna stay put.
Okay. We also have the under 12.5. That's now up $13.13. Now per share, right? We do have share costs if you want to do that. You don't have to, of course. That's $49.50 per share. It's even money plus 100. So we just threw $100 on it, and we're up $15. So a decent return right here. Potential profit is of about $100, obviously, because it's even money. We take a 2% commission, so that's why if you look at potential profit there on your screen, it says $99.98.
Now, what price do you have on the Mariners? Just went live versus the A's. It's middle of the first right now.
Let's scroll it on down. Let's see. Waiting for that market to fill, probably because it just started.
Yeah, it's middle of the first, so they're probably just switching it over.
Now. I can fill you in once it populates there.
Yeah. You want to know my best in-game bet of all time?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Remember, I took the Jaguars when they were down.
Dallas.
What?
Against Dallas?
No.
We're talking about Chargers.
Chargers.
Oh, yeah.
I took them at the peak when it was, 25, 30 to 1? Off the top of my head, I can't remember the exact number, but it was 34-0 or something like that.
Yep. It was 28 at half, I think? 28-0 at halftime or something like that?
Yeah, that's when I took it, and I just said to myself, I was like, this would be the most Chargers thing to do. So I've got to bet on it.
Let's see. We've got the White Sox here up 2-1, bottom 6, runner on second and third. So some situational baseball here. Let's try to hop on something real quick. See if we can get into the market. Check out. We've got White Sox minus 1.5 at plus 153. Let's see, 2 outs, 2-1 count. Again, I'm going to do a little slow play here. I'm going to throw 20 on that. Again, a situational play. Now, I'm curious how you feel about what I just did there, Tommy, because I didn't look at the number anywhere else. I strictly looked at the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people are either situational bettors, gut feeling bettors, or strictly plus EV bettors. Where do you kind of fall in that spectrum?
I'm in the middle of the pack, but I've been trying to train myself to be more on the plus EV side. Like, for example, today, if I had used my gut, I would have said, it's Verlander's start versus Detroit. I don't want to do that. And I actually didn't bet a full unit on it as a result. And of course, I wish I did. But if you look at the prices here, of course, it's now the end of the 6th inning. So it didn't quite work out, and the number has jumped to plus 270. But I'll tell you, looking around and comparing it to some other shops, plus 270, that minus 1.5, that's still a great price. And I was looking at the prices around town while you were making the bet. I still like the price that you got. You were still beating the rest of the market, which no surprise, again, given Sport Trade's hold versus other places.
Right. So I got it at plus 153. I'm down $5.90, as you can see on the screen, which tells me that even though it's a 3-1 count here, the inning is going to end.
It did end.
It did end. There you go. So, hey, it is what it is. I think the White Sox, despite the fact that they are terrible, we do an index here called MLBI. Now, if you watch like VSiN, they do something very similar. So we take it by share price, right? So again, like if you go into here, into any of our markets and look, like the Angels are 95.5 right now. The Cardinals are $6. Again, we still have that Cardinals position. Every day there's a share price for a team to win, right? We take all of those, we aggregate them, and we say if you were to buy one share of a team to win every day, here's how much you would be up. Here's our ROI, et cetera, et cetera. We call it the MLBI, the MLB index. The Pirates obviously are crushing it, very similar to VSiN's. They are number one. The White Sox are second to last, and they're getting crushed. And I'm going to be honest with you, I forgot that when I placed this bet, that they suck. So
they do. They do suck. But here's the thing about betting baseball, Dan.
I know. Anything can happen.
It's not even that. It's that the worst teams in Major League Baseball still win like 40, 50 games.
I know.
So
I know.
you can actually find value betting on the worst teams to win because of the fact that they're always going to be priced like they're going to lose, and they're only going to do that roughly eyeballing it here 2/3 of the time.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. I'm just I'm showing my hand here as somebody who's just like, trying to make that money.
Yeah.
Word from our CEO, Alex Kane, is he's going to join us here at some point. So when he comes in, I'll have to
Awesome.
clean. The desk is embarrassingly dirty, so I'm not going to love the wide shot once he sits down. I'm going to leave this up because it's nothing but green money bars here. We got the under 12.5. Now $25. It's 2-0, top third, runner on third for the Brewers. Tellez up. He homered earlier, and he is a thick boy. Speaking of thick boys, Tommy, you said you worked out this morning. Good
I
for
was
you.
very excited about where you were going with this.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? It takes one to know one. What'd you do this morning? You feel like a running guy. You feel like a guy who puts a lot of miles under the heels.
I do. I used to run a lot more. That used to be my everyday thing. I still run 1.5 miles every day, just around my
Jeez.
just like around my little neighborhood that I'm in. It's a good exercise. But today was a yoga day because the last couple of days I've been doing HIIT workouts. I've been popping
Sure.
those like crazy this year.
Okay.
And I said, you know what? The muscles are already sore. I need to I need to get a nice stretch in, get that mobility up because it's something I haven't really been focusing on. And then tonight I have soccer, so it's a doubleheader today.
Calorie burner. Love it. What sort of HIIT workouts you doing? What's the basis in there? What are you using?
So I use that app Grokr.
I don't know that one.
Oh, it's like this. It's basically YouTube for fitness videos, and they've got everything from like hardcore workouts to stretching to yoga to cooking stuff to even stretching and foam roller things.
Okay.
It's a fantastic app, and they've got some great personal trainers on it. So I love Sarah Cush and Toby Massenberg. They're my favorite.
Fair enough. Okay. Shout out.
Yeah.
Situation between the Royals and the Orioles is now 8-7,
Ooh.
top 6. Unfortunately, we missed the boat on the totals, as I mentioned. Unless you're in our production app, our actual app, you can see what those are. But again, we're not using that here because I can't. But let's just look at the Royals are plus 272. Again, they're pitching right now. Go ahead.
I like the Royals. I mean, if you want to wait and see if they can get out of the middle of the inning here, you could do that. But looking around town, you got plus 277. He says 272 now on Sport Trade. Everywhere else, except Superbooks at plus 250, but everywhere else is plus 220, plus 230.
Yeah, I got the real money line here at plus 283. So in a situation like that, let's go find it. When you're that close, are you willing to go below the fair price, or do you strictly wait for it to go above?
I mean, we lost it now, at 240, but yeah, I'm willing to go above the fair price. Like I like comparing it to some of the books that I kind of trust their in-game numbers a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And the great thing with Sport Trade, and I swear you guys aren't paying me to say this, but you're almost always going to be beating the price on some of these other sharp books when it comes to in-game.
Well, if you've been looking at us recently, I mean, you can definitely make the claim that our market makers have gotten sharper the longer we've been open, and that makes sense, right? Like the maturity of the market making process. We've only been open since September for business, really. And if you were to compare our odds with, say, like Pinnacle's in-game, pre-game, I mean, it's right there. So kudos to our market makers for consistently putting up great numbers. Now, that doesn't leave a lot of room for outliers, right? If you're strictly combing for like plus EV bets, a.k.a. the bets where the books are royally messing up. But you can definitely count on getting great numbers here. Let's see. Now you got me looking here. Got to find the status of the game because MLB doesn't put any of their games on TV.
Well, yeah, I personally like that from Rob Manfred. The idea of
regionalizing the game. You like that?
Yeah, let's make it impossible for anyone to watch our sport.
Yeah, good job, Raj. Idiot. I mean, if Gary Bettman weren't alive, he'd be the worst commissioner. but Gary
Yeah,
Bettman is alive.
I think that's a pretty fair statement.
Yeah.
Adam Silver does a good job over at the NBA. I'll tell you that much. I don't like a lot of what the league has done, but
Uh-huh.
as far as commissioners, you can tell that he actually cares about his sport.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't call the Larry O'Brien Trophy a hunk of metal. So, yeah,
That's important.
from that perspective, he's he's the torchbearer. Yeah, I mean, I think he's probably the best. I mean, if you want to talk about just making money, I mean, Goodell obviously prints money.
Well,
But that
that's not
product,
fair.
that product is just like a juggernaut. I don't know how I feel about like in season tournaments and stuff like that. I just got to see it before I can like judge it. I personally don't think it's going to do anything, but
Mhm.
I don't know. But we'll see. End of 3 here, 2-0 Brewers. And as you can see, this $100 bet now up to 47, 147.47. So we're up $47.47. This leads me to an interesting question, and I'm curious for your thoughts on this because I was combing through Unabated's educational articles as I'm one to do, as someone who is not a sharp bettor.
By the
And
way, I think I'm frozen on
you
your
are
screen.
frozen. Do you want to hop
Okay.
back out and hop back in?
I can do that real quick.
Okay,
Sure.
we'll do that. I'll fill time.
All right. Coming back.
So Tommy will be right back. Of course, he unfroze himself just as we were doing it. There he is. He's back. Okay.
There we go.
So yeah. So my question for you, Tommy. So I was combing, as I mentioned, the educational content on your site because it's awesome. If you don't have Unabated, check it out. And there was a great article on there with quotes from Jack about when is the right time to cash out, and the answer was basically never, with one caveat. He said it without saying it, and we're all friends here, so I'm going to say he was talking about Sport Trade because let's be honest, he was.
Yeah.
But he said, unless you're betting on an exchange where the equity of your cash out is 97%, Alex is coming in, 97%, as opposed to a cash out at a sports book, which is like 50%, that's really the only time you want to cash out. Again, didn't mention us by name, but let's all be honest, like he was talking about us. Your personal feelings on cash outs and what is like the barometer for you in order to do so? And while you answer, I'm going to widen the shot so we can see Alex.
I think that's a really good question. I mean, first off, I don't have access to any books where I can cash out. I have to hedge out of my position by making another bet because Nevada books simply don't do that, like DraftKings and FanDuel, and you guys offer those options. But I don't see the value in cashing out because you're never really getting a fair price on a book that on a sports book versus an exchange like you guys where you can actually find those, but you know that a sports book isn't going to be offering you the right price to cash out on your bet. And so at that point, you're just taking your gut and you're saying, oh, you know what? I think that I just have the feeling that this game is going to collapse on me. And sure, sometimes that could be right. Like, I certainly don't enjoy betting. I'm a Jets fan, and I know that the Jets are going to crush me in the end. So I don't enjoy taking a Jets money line because I have a feeling the bottom's always going to fall out. But at the end of the day, it's always just coming down to your intuition, whether or not it's a good time to cash out or not. And honestly, at that point, you're kind of also saying the position that I took earlier wasn't actually good. And if it's not, then yeah, sure, cash out. But if you actually believe in the position and nothing there has changed, I don't see why you would want to cash out.
Alex, your response, considering I didn't hear any of that.
That was fantastically well put. Fantastically well put. I think the hello, by the way, Tommy, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Alex?
I'm doing well. I think Jason wrote the article. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I think what is really, really great about kind of what Jason said is that it's really tough because most times when you're offered a cash out, you've placed a bet. Let's keep it really simple. You bet $100 at even money plus 100. I don't know where you fall on that side of the whole debate there, Tommy, whether plus 100 or even money, but keep it very simple. You're going to get $200 back if your bet wins. Well, the cash out offer they're offering you, like, how do you know if it's good value? And I think that concept of implied probability. What are they offering you versus what would you get if you didn't take the cash out offer and the bet won? And if you divide those two numbers together, that gives you an implied probability. And that implied probability can give you, it's like a finger in the wind. It gives you an idea like, well, wait a minute, if they're willing to give me, I just bet 100 and I'm going to get $200 back, but they're willing to give me 80. 80 divided by 200 is 40%. Oh, they're willing to give me 40 cents on the dollar for this.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really important sort of tool. And I think what we work really hard on is like, we want to give your cash outs a value that you can look at and say, is this cash out good? And it's really hard to look at what they're offering you. It's a lot easier to say, well, what implied probability are they willing to buy this bet back from me for? And I think that's like a really important concept.
So we'll put this into practice right now. We a short time ago, Alex, ended up buying the Cardinals at plus 1,400 to win.
Love it.
Now we did this only because the fair value on Unabated was like plus 1,200.
Oh, rip it.
And nobody else was even close.
Yep.
So we did it. Now here's the situation. That has now gone to plus 23.52. But we could cash it out for $2.50 per share, right? And we have 1.5 shares. So is that a situation where you look at that and say, well, elsewhere I'm getting bupkis,
Yep.
right? Why not take that?
Yeah, and you look at that as a great example. They're willing to give you that $2.5. That's 2.5%.
Right.
They're willing to give you 2.5%. That's what they think the probability, the market thinks the probability, the willingness to buy that bet back from you from.
And of course,
now it's 3%. Look at that.
Yeah. The phone timed out. So now you can see it. There you go. Now you can see that the cash out offer is $3 per share. So, yeah. So 5.5. Well, now it's even less than that at the time. But
it's flickering back and forth.
back and forth.
But you know, and we talk to customers all the time, and I say, well, how do you know the cash out value is bad? And most of them say, well, the second I place the bet, they're willing to give me $80 for my 100. And there you go. That's like that's the clue that the cash out offer isn't great. I think what Jason wrote, Tommy, which is very smart, is that if you can calculate the implied probability, you'll know just exactly how bad the offer is.
Yeah.
And it's the one sort of uniform thing that you can look at and say, do I think they have more than a 2.5% chance of winning? Because if they do, I wouldn't want to sell this. If I think they have a 1% chance of winning and someone's willing to give me 2.5% for it, I'm definitely going to sell out. I'm definitely going to cash out.
now, how do you come to that conclusion out of curiosity?
I am a textbook top-down unabated power user. And I do exactly what a lot of people do is I look at this market and I look at other venues. Here's a great example of this happening right now. I'm looking at Pinnacle. And Pinnacle, I could buy the Angels at implied probability of 98%, which means I could sell the Cardinals at 2%. But I can sell on Sport Trade just before the market went out at 2.5%. I would have 100% cashed out based on that alone, because Pinnacle says it's worth 2%, and FanDuel says it's worth 1.6%, and Sport Trade says it's worth 3%. You know what? That sounds pretty good. Sounds like Sport Trade may be overvaluing my bet, and this may be the perfect opportunity to get out. So my answer to you is I just look at the unabated live screen and make a decision.
Make that your North Star for sure.
And you hit on another fantastic point there, Alex, in just converting to implied probability in general. It's one of the things preached in Logic of Sports Betting, David Allen Miller.
Yep.
Always convert into implied probability. And if you're a bettor who is just starting out, if you're just getting into the game, or you want to take your game to the next level, one of the number one things, and one of the things I'm doing right now, because Dan, I'm sure you're right here with me, coming from a broadcast background. If there's one stereotype about us that's true, we are terrible at math.
Oh,
and
God. I can't believe he keeps me around. I can't do any math.
Alex converting that the implied probability there in his head, like, I can't do that. And it's terrible as a sports bettor to be bad with numbers, but it's the truth I have. And so because of that, treat implied probability like your times tables. Make a basic chart that has all of the common ones. Like, you want minus 110 on there. You want even money, 2-1, 3-1, and just start stacking up some of the common ones. Once you memorize those, the rest you can start to do in your head and at least have that jumping off point. Again, I don't even have the formula off the top of my head, but it's something that's definitely important to get down and to be able to make second nature. As a matter of fact, if you're using Unabated, you can even switch your odds to be in probability. And I want to get to the point where I can just do that and automatically know exactly what those odds are going to be.
So we just did it for you. We're looking specifically here. Again, we bought the White Sox minus 1.5 at plus 153, 39%. And nothing has changed except they're up again. Bottom 7, clean slate here. and they're down to plus 405. Now, I did this while you were talking, Tommy, and it says the fair price is plus 423, but I don't see another contender at that price range. Let's double back and look. Yeah, 405. Doesn't look like. Yeah, nobody's even close, actually. Plus 275 at Superbook, plus 300 at Fox Bet, 340 at FanDuel, 350 at DraftKings. So plus 405 here. Is this a situation, Alex, where you're saying, hey, it's only one run. They still have at least 6 more outs?
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. And that, the great thing, I think, Tommy, of like using implied probability is that it makes it very simple. You want to buy at a low implied probability and you want to sell at a high implied probability. Buy low, sell high.
Yeah.
And so you could see here, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and Dan, if you switch from American odds there over to the probability tab.
Yeah.
So notice how when you do that, it's saying like for that White Sox, it's saying 19% probability versus 82%. If you switch it over to Sport Trade,
yep,
those numbers should stay the same.
Yep.
Yes, they are.
Exactly. And that's obviously people who are already betting the Sport Trade know, but it is pretty cool how you can see Sport Trade odds in implied probability right away.
Did you get that? Did you get that bet down? Because it just moved.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did.
It just moved. So you bought it at 19.5%, right?
I did.
And now it's
at 21.5%.
21.5%.
So what we did too was because we did that, we lowered our cost basis as well, which is again more of a stock trading tactic there on our app. You can do. It's kind of a make your own adventure app. It's kind of a bet your own way sort of app on Sport Trade. You can treat it as if it's a stock exchange, or you can treat it just like you would any other sports betting app. Except we have all the added advantages of being able to lower your cost basis, buying and selling for actual market value, et cetera, et cetera.
And I think the cool thing about that is that what your position does is if you're a bettor out there and you've ever placed more than one bet on the exact same outcome, that your position just says, well, if we just combined all of your betting into one bet, Dan has bet here $40 at an average price of plus 279, which is 26% chance of winning.
Yeah.
And right now, looks like the market says they have about a 20% chance of winning. Well, 20 is lower than 26, so it means he's down, and it makes sense.
And it keeps moving up here.
Well, you made a great trade.
Somebody just struck out. So now there are 2 outs. White Sox still leading 2-1. Again, we have them minus 1.5. So I'm not even hoping that they score a run, Tommy. I'm just hoping they get somebody on base because I lowered the cost basis. If they get somebody on base, I might end up getting into the green here a little bit.
I'd almost bet even more here, and we got to watch our stake size. But
yeah,
I mean, if you look at this screen right here, it shows you Sport Trade's valuing that bet at 21.5%, and Pinnacle is saying 26.1%.
Wow,
that's a big difference.
Let's drive this point home. Pinnacle, well, they're updating. We're at plus 319.
Yep.
Pinnacle was at plus 283.
Looks like something's happening in the market
flipped.
here.
Something definitely just flipped. And now at minus 396. What happened? Show me the money.
See, is this the example of using unabated live screen to see which books are wrong, betting when the book is wrong, and more often than not, the market will move here.
We're looking at a volatile market here. I'm seeing minus 396 on unabated, though, not in the app, however. So I have 2 outs with a 1-0 count.
I thought it was going to move up because didn't they just score?
Oh, they're out. Did I screw this up? The Twins are at bat. Unbelievable. I screwed it up.
But wait, hold on.
See, that could be a problem. That when that happens, that could be a problem with your markets.
Because we still, but the factor matter is we still made in that moment a good trade, and that's what matters. Pinnacle said, "Hey, I'm willing to sell this to you at 26% implied odds," and Sport Trade said, "I'll sell it to you at 19 or 20% implied odds." That sounds like a pretty good deal to me. Pinnacle, knows what they're doing, and that's how you can use unabated to look at all these different venues and saying where are they pricing their odds. Whether you do it in implied probability or American odds, it's the same idea. You want to buy low and you want to sell high.
This is the problem with Major League Baseball, as we were talking about before you hopped on. I can't watch the game, so I'm reliant on these ridiculous things. It was bottom 8 or bottom 7.
Yep.
And then top 8. So, hey, I'll as Mark Goldberg likes to make fun of me for, I'll say that's my bad. I'll take that. I'll wear that as the captain of the ship and the show. That's on me.
I will say, I really want to get my hands on Sport Trade and use it during an NBA game.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Like that's
Unbelievable.
That's got to be printing money, isn't it?
You want to talk about printing money? Last night, Celtics -5.5, Celtics -8.5, Celtics -11.5.
The ladder.
Just
Yep.
no chance the Sixers had in that game.
That-
And they came out. They couldn't have looked worse. I mean,
Yeah.
the no energy. They basically were like, "All right, Joel, go play 20 minutes, get your legs under you, and then like we'll see what happens on Friday when you get your award."
That could be a pretty good environment at the
Oh, it's
Wells
gonna be great.
Fargo on Friday.
It's gonna be great. Despite that blunder, we're up $70 here. The under 12.5, which was a great plus EV play that we got because Kristen Yelich led off the game, Alex, with a home run, and the under just went on sale. The fair price was -106 on Unabated. We got it at even money on Sport Trade.
There you go.
So, and that's proven to bear some fruit.
I mean, the way I think about when I use the unabated live out screen is that all I'm doing is I'm trying to pocket edge. An edge is this invisible thing. It's not real. If I can buy something at plus 100 and it's worth -106, meaning I can buy it at 50%, but it's worth 51.5%. Every time I do that, I pocket an imaginary edge. And if you do it enough and your process is correct and you're data driven and you're always adjusting to data, you will win long term or you will lose very, very slowly. And that's the way I look at it. Like, I don't care that the market moved against us in that one bet. We made a good bet in that moment. That's all that matters. Because you know what? The market could have moved up. And that's Tommy, that's the way I look at it. I'm definitely a power user of the platform. I try to give Jack too much feedback. I think he tries to block my number from time to time because I'm thinking about ways to like improve it even more. But you know, I can't really. I look at these teams playing. I can't name.
So real quick, the Royals have the bases loaded, bottom 6, 2 out. It's a 1-2 count. Now, obviously, our feed is far behind. A situation where Pinnacle has the Royals at plus 171, Sport Trade at plus 190. But an opportunity at 8-7 game for the Royals to hop in front here, bottom 6. Is this a situational play in any of your minds that we'd have to jump on like immediately?
You're probably out of luck because there's 2 strikes.
I know.
So I think they're going to get out of this jam. But
It's
if it was
2-2. According to our data feed, which is about 40 seconds ahead of like a YouTube TV broadcast, which is not bragging because YouTube TV is atrocious.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what we're looking at.
Oh, something did just happen.
Oh boy.
I'm going to guess the Royals went ahead here.
Well, I mean, the market just jumped to -602, but we'll see. I guess we're just watching this one. Oh boy,
this one
it
got
sure
very
did, didn't it?
This just got very wide.
Come on, guys.
Gonna move up a little bit.
I'm just hitting that refresh button on the ESPN page, waiting to see what happens.
No,
back
no.
down.
I'm going to tell you, nothing happened.
Yeah, but hold on. There's a huge disagreement here. If you guys are watching this,
I'm watching.
hold
Yeah.
on. Huge
Yeah.
disagreement.
Yeah.
See, this is very interesting. So if you had access to FanDuel, another book that's in New Jersey, FanDuel was wrong there for about 8 seconds. There's a huge disagreement. FanDuel valued the bet at 40%, Sport Trade down at 25%. Somebody was wrong.
Yep.
And if you can figure out, it's hard. If you figure out who's wrong
Very quickly. Yeah.
very quickly, you
Yeah.
gotta be quick. You have to log into all the apps. You got to have the unabated live screen open
Yeah.
optimally on multiple screens like we have here. It is possible. It is possible.
So Royals strike out. That ends the threat. So hey, good resiliency on our part to not jump at that one. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job, boys.
And
Great job.
Alex, you talked about it a minute ago about pocketing edges, and the whole point is to grab as many edges as you can. I like to compare it to blackjack. It's when you have a 16 and the dealer's showing a 10, and you say, okay, well, what do I do here? And the guy next to you says, well, you're supposed to hit the 16. And then you hit the 16 and you get an 8 and bust out and turn to the guy and go, oh, well, thanks for the advice, man. I just busted out. That short-term look at things is the way that so many casual bettors look at the market. And they'll say, oh, well, you had 10 bets today and 6 of them lost. Like you're not doing well. You didn't win. It's all about the edges in the process there because you have to play it out over the long term. And if you keep making the right decision, like for example, if you keep hitting on that 16 because it's what you're supposed to do, that's how the math plays out for you in the long term. And that's why you take every edge that you can see on the unabated odds screen, which you certainly do see a lot of them when you're betting with Sport Trade.
Can you get Brewers at 83% right now? It's minus 500.
We'd have to sell out of Tommy's Rockies.
Okay,
bet.
we're not going to do it. Well, that's the same thing. Buying the Brewers is the same thing as selling the Rockies. So
Yeah.
I would suggest you do this just based on exactly what Tommy just said.
Yeah.
Sport Trade has it priced at 83. I see 87. I see 89. That by 83 might be move, which means you could sell the Rockies at 17. You see that? There's your sell, 17. Still a great bet. Still a great bet. Very large disagreement. Sometimes these markets can disagree so much to where there's an arbitrage. We're very, they just moved to 16.5.
Yeah.
And see, that's what we're talking about, right? Those little edges, like, and those little moments. That's what we're talking about. But I couldn't agree more with you, Tommy. Like, yeah, the playing the right and for me, like as a bettor, it's not about winning long term. It's more like knowing that I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah,
I get enjoyment out of that. I just feel like that's enjoyable for me.
It's fun feeling smart. People want to feel smart, and when you're making good bets, you're feeling smart. You're feeling good about yourself. Like,
Yep.
I felt great betting the Tigers today because I was like, oh, hey, that was an edge. Like, I spotted that. I figured that out, and I took it. And that's that feeling that you want to have. And I think that's what most people are actually chasing with gambling, whether they realize it or not.
Yep. So if you look at this, and Dan's got the live odds screen open, we're pretty close to a live ARB in real time here between Sport Trade and FanDuel.
On which game here?
For this Brewers Rockies game. I see the implied probabilities add up to 99.5%. So we have over here on Sport Trade, what do we have? Plus 392. And FanDuel I have at, what is Sport Trade's minus price?
450.
Minus 450.
Yeah,
and what is FanDuel's
plus 450?
Plus 450. So we're close. It's close.
Now it's plus 420. So we're close.
And so when those margins, they start to collide and you know which side is wrong, it's a lot of fun. It also helps when the spreads are tighter, and I think that's a nice thing about Sport Trade is that when you look at these bets and you think about, Tommy, to your point, implied probability, and say, well, we bought the Rockies here and we bought them at an implied probability of 32.5%, and I can buy more at 21%, or I could sell out at 19.5%. That tightness between the sell and the buy price, between 21% and 19.5%, that's 1.5%. Bookmakers usually are about 7% in play. And so when the tightness of the market comes in, it's more opportunity to find edges because there's more opportunity to find where the Sport Trade price could disagree with another price on the unabated live odds screen.
So I've just been doing a horrible job of reading comments, and we're getting comments. So I apologize. Streamlabs does not alert you as to when you get comments. So we'll go through some of them now. And for whatever reason, when I pull this up, it's pulling Tom off the broadcast. So we'll do it very shortly. Boost says he likes the Twins to come back. That was about 25 minutes ago. Felipe says, hello, how are you? What's up, Felipe? Good to see you. Husky Park TV, our friend. Hello, my friends. The best show. You're the best guy. What can I say? Boost touting himself. Guess he got one right. And then Felipe says good value on the under here 8 minutes ago. So sorry for not catching up to you guys in real time. My apologies, but those are the comments. Please continue to keep commenting, and I'll do a much better job of actually hosting the show. So see, you guys use StreamYard, and those comments are literally right there, and you can put them up on screen. This
Jack, we use StreamYard for some of our live stuff. We use Streamlabs for our pre-recorded stuff. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, there you go.
I really want Streamlabs to get better comment integration.
Yeah, it's trash. The whole thing is trash, and their customer service sucks. I hope they're watching. Okay. Anyway, my diatribe is over. Let's go back to the numbers here. Tell you, we need the Captain Jack feed. That's what we need. Bottom. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and probably we could talk about it off air, but there's a service back when I was working with Betting Pros. They used a cloud-based server service for live streams, and that worked with StreamYard. So might be worth looking into. I'll look into it.
Okay. We've also got Braves and Marlins just started. The Braves, that inning is over. I was going to say they had a runner on first. They were already up 1-0. Looks like that inning has come to an end. Bottom three, the A's tied it 2. The Mariners runner on third, no outs. So let's go investigate what's going on there.
It's good to see the yes run first inning still going very strong here.
It is, and hopefully at some point, somewhat soon, you'll be able to find that on Sport Trade.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
Imagine trading the Yerfy or Nerfy during the first inning.
Oh
like
my gosh.
someone gets on second, and that thing's gonna go from minus 120 to minus
That's over.
380, minus 400, 80%. Yeah, what is it? Runner on second, no one out. The expected run value is 1. I'm not see, that's where like my math skills, like I don't know what that means in terms of probability of at least one run. I just know it's a heck of a lot higher when there's run on second with no one out.
Yeah.
So we'll go back to our White Sox and Twins. I have 1 out, a full count, 2-2, runner on third. So let's see what happens here. Tim Anderson at the dish, pinch hitting. Again, the White Sox are terrible, but we've hung on to this bet for some time.
We got the White Sox, and it's a White Sox minus 1.5.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. But a situation here, a drive and a run. Again, runner on third. Let's see if we can hop over quick enough.
White Sox minus 1.5. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Blacked out. How can it be a blackout? We're in Camden, New Jersey. Rob Manfred. Congratulations, my friend. One of the worst commissioners in the history of any sport.
Wow, that is unbelievable. We need more viewers for MLB, not less.
Okay. Well, then I don't care what happens in that game.
Well, we do though. We have fake funny money on it.
I know
we need to
do.
win.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm lashing out because I hate that man so much. All right, we're back on Milwaukee and Colorado then. Cruising on this under. Go ahead, Tommy.
Notice how this isn't like some other sports books where you have personalities and people employed by the sports book who are also somehow betting on the same sports book.
Yes. No comment.
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on that one.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, is that sports book on Unabated live out screen?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, I don't think
but
so.
we have Canby. You have Canby through Bet Rivers and Unibet and the Score. Did they use Canby? Yeah, they did originally. I think they're switching over. So you have 3. Oh, you have Huddle now. Interesting.
Yeah, that's new. That's very new.
That's very.
I didn't notice.
I use this site more than I care to admit, and this was not there 2 nights ago.
Oh, there
It wasn't there last night, I don't think.
Wow, that's a quick integration. First,
I want to see this Huddle versus Sport Trade. This is where it all comes out, right? Deck Prism versus Sport Trade.
Let's just do a battle bets.
Let's just do an algorithmic battle bets where it's just like it just makes a trade anytime there's a disagreement on price.
Oh, that's great.
That sounds amazing.
I'm in. Only a couple more games left on the board. A lot of games were done. 6:10 Blue Jays Red Sox, the last game to start tonight. That's crazy. I can't remember the last time there wasn't night baseball.
There's no night baseball?
Other than that, that's it.
Oh, there's close.
Yeah, a lot of day games today.
Yeah, a lot of day games. Orioles, Royals again, bottom 7, runner on second, no out for the Royals.
There's an ARB there. So Royals
Where's that?
at 47% on Sport Trade.
Okay.
Royals 47%. Do you see that? 48% still an ARB.
Okay. I see it.
That's plus 106.
Market price change now at 48. Yeah, plus 106.
Yep, rip it. Did you get it?
We're working on it. We're in.
There's one of our nasty bugs right there. It happens from time to time, so people have found it. It can happen.
Very rarely. It never takes that long.
Very rarely.
Very rarely does it take that long.
You still have it. You could actually now get it at 47. Still an ARB.
Still, this is a bug. It hasn't shown up in our. Yeah, this is a bug.
There we go. I'd still hit it at 49.
Okay.
There you go. Now, why did we do that? We did that because we bought in at plus 102, 49%. Why did we do that? Because FanDuel, which is also a pretty sharp book, all things considered, more so than DraftKings, more so than Kambi, valued that at closer to 51%. So that's what we're talking about, Tommy. Buy low, sell high. We just bought a bet at 49%, and FanDuel had it priced at closer to 52, 53%. We take that.
And
that's edge.
It doesn't sound like a lot, but that's an edge right there.
Yeah.
And speaking of some edges, or at the very least, even numbers here, I took a look at the hockey scores for tonight, the hockey odds for tonight, because I was like, well, what sport is playing tonight? Because there's no NBA and there's 2 NHL games. And according to the Unabated line, you were dead even on both the Kraken and the Panthers money lines right now on Sport Trade.
Yeah. So Unabated line 34.5. Florida Panthers at 35, and the same for the Kraken. That's a Sport Trade price. We'll go over to the American odds. Unabated lines plus 190. We're at plus 186, and likewise for the Kraken.
Oh, that just moved in. I've still got plus 190 on those.
Okay. Well, let's see. Well, we have the app in front of us. Why don't I go take a look?
Right? Do you have any leans there? Are we hoping on? Well, let's see. Your team's taking a night off. Let's see. They're back. They're back tomorrow. Yeah. Tomorrow 1 p.m. Is
plus
that right?
186. Is that what it says?
Wait,
Saturday
at 7. It says Oilers Knights.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. Got it. Okay. And so how's that been going, Tom? I know you're a big Golden Knights fan.
Well, the Knights and over has been very profitable. I'm not going to say that it's a plus EV bet. It's more of a plus entertainment value bet.
Plus Tommy bet.
Yeah.
Oh, but Royals up 33-67.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
That's what we're talking about.
Oh, tied game, bottom 7, and they still got people on base. Ducks on the pond, as they say.
Ducks on the pond. Ducks on the
pond. There you go. Good bet there, Alex.
And this is what so I'm exactly like you, Tommy. I go into a game and say, I want to bet this, but then I use the unabated screen to make sure I get the best price. I still, why not? Like, if you could buy a bet at plus 100 instead of minus 105, why would you give up the $5? Wouldn't you want to pocket the 5?
So Royals 8, Orioles 8, 2-1, no out, bottom 7. We've already made a decent amount of money here, 32.65. On the Royals. This looks like the White Sox flamed out. Now it's still tied at 2, top 9. What's the total looking like over there?
I mean, the unabated live screen says either FanDuel's wrong or Sport Trade's wrong, but it says that FanDuel values the Royals at about 73%, 72%, and we have them at 66.5.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not like
FanDuel's
this is an anomaly.
At 75 right now. FanDuel's at 66.95.
This is like in 20 minutes. This is the type of edge you will get every single day on every single game.
Well, let's keep doing it. We still have them at minus 207. Well, so we already have a position though. So do we want to raise our cost basis?
I think we raise the cost base. Every other market says it's worth 71, it's worth 73, it's worth 72. Sport Trade's like, hey, you can get it at 66.5. That sounds like it's on sale to me. Like, look at that.
We love stuff on sale.
That's pretty interesting.
All right, let's rip it. There you go.
There's another dimension to all this, which is like risk management. And you're right about that. You don't want to over bet into a certain bet with the whole Kelly criterion and all that stuff. That is way above my head. All I can say is that 66.5% is a heck of a lot lower than 75%.
I mean, that to me, and again, Tommy made a great point earlier, coming from a broadcast situation, not necessarily being a sports betting expert, and I don't position myself to be one. Looking at it from a probability standpoint, to me, clarifies a lot of things. Now, obviously, going back to American odds, you can see it. I'll pull the full screen up. Obviously, you can see the stark difference here. Like in the same game, minus 227, minus 280, minus 300, huge differences there. But I mean, how simple is that, right? How simple is that?
It looks
clear
simple.
As day.
And we bought more at 66.5, and now it's already up. Sport Trade's already up to 69.
Yeah.
And that's their way of saying,
nice.
Good job.
Thank you.
Great job.
Hey, great job.
Just pocket edge. How good does that feel?
You should call them the Edge Boys.
Is there like so Dagger Dan and then like
going hunting
Edge something?
And the other thing that I like about probability versus American odds is you see minus 217 versus minus 285 or minus 300. Those feel like such a large discrepancy when you're looking at the American odds. If you're just someone who is starting out, when you switch it to probability, then you say, oh, okay, they're not that far apart, but it's still a big deal. but like the numbers of 67% to 73 don't sound nearly as big as minus 217 to 300.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's a consistency across implied probability that every percentage point is created equal.
Yeah.
And in American odds, the difference between minus 105 and plus 105 is way bigger than the difference between minus 260 and minus 270.
Right.
Right.
And it's hard to, for me coming into this more from the probabilistic mindset, I kind of need my multiplication tables for the American odds because I don't know how much 10 cents is worth at minus 200 versus minus 110. And it looks like the market's kind of coming back to sport trade here.
Yeah.
But
looks that way.
but
FanDuel's back
FanDuel's
to
still
70.
FanDuel's still at 72.
Yeah. Superbook at 66. FoxBet at 75.
Forgot about our friends at Superbook. Here we go. Superbook. I see Superbook 72 too.
I have him at 66-1. We're talking about the Orioles?
I have this. I have the Orioles at 34.5.
Let me pull a refresh here. Just make sure I'm.
And this is a
same
kind of cool
page.
thing as well. If you're a bettor out there, I'm not a big bettor, any sense of the word. I try to bet around $100 at a time. There are sites out there that if you hit your bet limit for the day on a certain outcome, it doesn't matter if the odds change. You're kind of done, and I think that's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Being able to rebet and say, well, I'll take 100 here. I'll take 100 here. FanDuel does the same thing. They are more transparent with what their limits are, and I think that's great. But you'll notice they don't ever refresh themselves even when the odds change, which kind of makes no sense. If the odds have changed, shouldn't you be able to bet what you once were allowed to bet before the odds changed? That doesn't seem to make sense to me. But once you kind of hit your limit for those venues, they're kind of done for the day, and I think that's suboptimal for bettors.
Agreed.
So our Royals bet up 13.77. Our under here up 72.73. Brewers are going to score another run here. So 4-0 Brewers. That game is in the top of the 6th. Tommy, we said we'd go to 4:30. We're right there. Up to you whether or not you want to hang out for another 10 minutes or so, Alex.
I will say, sorry, go ahead, Tommy.
I was just gonna say I got nowhere to be for the net. I got to edit a couple videos after this, but I'm okay to chill.
All right, I've got about 5, and then I got to go run some child-related errands.
So, by the way, on our we got to bring the whale tracker back. We're working on it.
Yeah.
Twitter's making us pay for it.
What?
Yeah, well, the way we used to do it, we had to pay per API sort of. It's not my expertise, but
Elon.
But
Come on.
we still get them on our internal Slack, and I can share it with you all.
Yeah.
We were just talking about the Royals and the perceived value at around 67%. Someone did just put about $4,000 down
On the Royals.
at Royals at 67%. And
There
so
you go.
that's a kind of cool thing is like there are some books on the Unabated live screen that are willing to be out of line.
Yeah.
Superbook is one of them. Pinnacle is one of them. Huddle is one of them. Sport Trade is one of them. And that means that they're willing to say, hey, I actually do think the value is around 67. I know everyone else is at 72. This isn't a mistake. If you'd like to bet at 67, like we did, and like this person did, you can. And I think that's sometimes I look at the Unabated screen, I'm like, oh, Sport Trade's really disagreeing with the market. And then I'll scurry back to Slack and be like, yep, people are betting at that price.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm just combing markets right now.
Yeah.
Look at the Royals. Look at that. Look at our Royals trade.
Yeah. 83-28. Oh my gosh, look at that. Something happened. Oh, the Royals scored a run. 9-8 Royals now. Bottom 7. You saw it because I have it up, but I'm too busy looking at Unabated. So we made that bet up 87-97 now. We found a great edge. Great looking. That was just like Duck Hunt. That bird just flew out and Alex pulled off his sawed off and made sure he didn't get too far.
Now I very nearly, it just moved, liked cashing out of that. But because of Sport Trade was slightly overvaluing the Royals there for a second.
This is what we did. You ready for this? We haven't used this drop in a long time. There it is. It's been a long time since we used that
That's
drop.
great.
Yeah.
We
It's
just
been
bought.
some
That's
time.
awesome. That's freaking awesome.
Been a while.
We should have sold. There was like an 81. I was thinking about selling, and now
And,
it's down 74.5.
Yeah. That's okay.
It's okay.
We're gonna brush this off. Not everybody likes to sell right away.
Yeah.
No, I know. But the thing is, and then we've talked about this, cashing out because it's now at a fair price.
Right.
I just look at it as another bet here. And I was thinking that Sport Trade now had overvalued the Royals. And I was thinking about maybe selling because we could sell at a higher implied probability than true price.
But even still, you look at this: the Royals first and second, 2 out, still 9-8. There's still an opportunity here. Now this can go one of two ways, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But 63.23 is our profit. Even if they get out, you're still looking at it like a $50 profit.
Yep.
And if they score another run, well, them are really sitting pretty.
Goes to like 90%.
Yeah. So I don't think we do anything here.
Yep, I like
think
it.
We just kind of hang out and see what happens. And then once this AB closes, we'll say goodbye. But we found some good bets today. The under 12.5 was good. The Royals bet was good. We had some other ones that were plus EV. They didn't exactly work out, but because we were able to sell them off, we did that, and that's fine. So we're able to capture some additional cash regardless here. So Royals selling at 74. What do you got?
Mariners 48% plus 106.
Is that the money line?
Yep.
Yeah, I see.
I
What do you think?
I
Tommy?
love that.
48.5 now. I still kind of like it there at 48.5.
Well, look at everybody else. DraftKings at 54, 52, 51. We just came up to 49, looks like. 48.5.
I like it. I
All
mean,
right, we did it.
if you look at DraftKings, is a great example here. DraftKings is at 53.5 at both sides to buy it.
Yeah.
Which means that they valued it 50%, and we could buy it at 48.5%. That edge, we should have an edge thing.
We just jumped to 73.40. That has to be a volatile price, I guess.
Yep. But that's what we're talking about, like those little moments. Hey, DraftKings says it's 50, Sport Trade says it's 48.5. Okay, we'll buy it at 48.5.
Full count for the Royals. 2 out, runner on first and third. And we'll see what happens here. Bottom 7.
You see what happened in the Mariners already?
No.
We're already up.
Are we?
Yep.
What happened?
It's
We're up. We're
it's
up
the same.
$7.22.
It's the same idea. We just Sport Trade was slow, and we were quick.
Yep. There you go.
Tommy, how easy is this?
Good for us.
Yeah.
I just made $7.
Dan, we got to do one of these for one of the NBA games because that
Oh,
must
for
be-
sure.
You could place like 6 or 7 bets over the course of the game, just buying and selling based on the runs.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I don't even know what happened in that
Yeah, so
game.
he's out. All right,
Seattle's.
so Royals are out of the bottom of the 7. So hey, we still pocketed $50 there.
Mm-hmm.
So good job, everybody. $50, sir. Tommy, we're up. We might as well go ahead and sell off our positions here while we end the program. Another $50. Oh, that's volatile. Let me wait for that to come through, and then we'll do that. Hey, we just made $8.25 minus 2%
and Mariners. We
commission
just made
on
money
the
on Mariners. How about that?
There you go. $8 on
Easy
the
money.
Mariners, just like that. Rockies, not so much. That's okay. Wait for this to go out of volatility, and then we'll sell that off. But Tommy, always fun hanging out with you. Again, a less contentious episode between you and I. I told him earlier, I'm
Gotta
the
run
bigger
it back.
man. I'm the bigger man.
Absolutely.
We will have a rematch once Battle Bets gets up and running again. But I'm going to give him that win. So, Tommy, Viola, thanks so much from Unabated, our great friends at Unabated. Good hanging out. We'll do it again soon.
Great hanging out with you as well, guys. Always a pleasure. Looking forward to it. And hey, I got a hankering for some real pizza, so I might be out in your neck of the woods sooner rather than later.
All right, we'll grab a slice or 8. Sounds good, buddy.
Take care.
Alex,
Later.
thanks, sir.
Thank you.
We'll catch you later.
Absolutely.